If you're managing your projects and still treating risks and issues like they're the same thing, well, you've got a problem. Because that one misunderstanding, it's quietly wrecking your timelines, your budget, and your credibility as a project leader. Let me show you the difference here between risk and issue and why the best project managers get this right. So let's start at the root of this problem. Because if you don't know what you're dealing with, you're already behind. So here's the deal when it comes to risk and issues. The simplest way to put it, one's going to show up if it happens. The other one's already at your doorstep waiting to come in. Risks are future focused. They're the what ifs of risk management. Will the supplier be late? Will a key resource roll off mid-project? These are the things that might happen, and if you're smart, you plan for them in your project plan. Issues, on the other hand, they're real. They've already hit your project. You're not wondering if the supplier is going to be late. They already are. You're not speculating, you're reacting to what the problem is at that moment. Knowing the difference changes everything in your entire approach to what you're doing. Risks require proactive thinking. Issues demand reactive action. And here's where it gets deeper. Because we're not just talking about definitions here. It's a culture. It's about leadership within your projects. Something we used to say all the time in the Marine Corps. Words have meanings. If you say, we have an issue, when all you have is a risk, you're sending the wrong message to your stakeholders. And this creates confusion. It leads to inconsistent expectations across your team. And in risk management, clarity is everything. Because if your language is sloppy, your project culture will probably be that way too. It's time that we get risk and issue right in our vocabulary and clean up how we communicate risk to our stakeholders. Hey, hope you're enjoying the video. Let me know in the comments. Are you managing a risk register and issue log separately? Or are you trying to do it all in one document? I want to know. And while you're at it, make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel, as I'm going to push out weekly content around project management, risk management, and project leadership. And if you're not convinced why this distinction matters in your project, let me show you what it really costs when you get it wrong. Let's paint a picture right now. You have two homeowners, same kitchen renovation. One is planning ahead. They've made a plan. Everything looks great. The other one just wings it. Homeowner one identifies a risk, and this is about, let's just say, appliance delays. Something, one of the stove coming in late, and they need to configure everything around it. So what they do is they order it early. They build some buffer or slack into the schedule and communicate this with the contractor to make sure that they understand this is what's happening. No stress, no worry. Homeowner two, though, they wait. They assume it's going to work out. The appliances end up showing a week late. The contractor's already booked elsewhere, and now they're just bleeding time and cash because they don't have any way to get this thing put together. Now we have the same scope, different outcome. And why? Because one treated risk like a risk. They planned ahead. And the other one, they're working on issue management because they decided to do one simple thing: ignore it. Our projects work the same way. You ignore risks, cool, you're going to get an issue. If you plan ahead, you might actually be able to capitalize on something else. Now we've seen how risky language can turn into real world pain. But what do the pros actually do about it? Well, to think about that, we have to get tactical. The best project managers, they run two registers, one for risks, one for issues. And why would they do that though? Because they require different strategies. Because the risk register, it's a forecast tool. It lets you plan, respond, you log your potential problems, you assign owners, you build responses, you stay ahead of your risks. The issue log, on the other hand, it's what you're using to respond, resolve problems. You're tracking real world obstacles, who's handling it, and what's the resolution timeline, and what's the overall impact. These separate tools help us with clearer visibility, faster decisions, and more trust from your team and your stakeholders. This is not an admin drill. This is leadership and true project management. And if your team doesn't know the difference between risks, issues, risk logs, issue logs, then train them, teach them, and build it into your project rituals. Now, if you want to lead like a pro, not just talk like one, here are the 5 moves that are going to change the game around your risk management. First, maintain a separate risk and issue log. Treat them like distinct tools that they are. Train your team on the difference between risks and issues. No more confusion during your daily stand-ups or your status calls. Build in time to look over your risks and issue logs in your schedule. Time is your risk safety net. You just have to make sure you put it on the schedule. Which brings me to the 4th point. Review your risks weekly, not just during kickoff, when the risks evolve, or when an issue pops up. You need to stay sharp. Put it on the schedule and do it at least weekly. And last but not least, document your lessons learned. Turn every past problem into future prevention, something that future you or future other PM can learn from when they start their project. Because remember, you're not just solving problems. You're building a reputation for seeing around corners and hitting the problems before they ever become an issue. And I'll tell you, if you start using at least 2 of these consistently, your team's going to feel the difference, and so will your stakeholders. And if you really want to kickstart this to help you out, go ahead and download my free project risk assessment template that you can find down in the comments. This is the exact tool that I've given out to a lot of project managers to help them understand the difference between real risks, real threats. And if you want to go deeper on risk management, check out this video right here, where I'm going to walk you through how to build a risk burn down chart for your projects. Don't miss it. 44 Risk PM.